Jason here for another Wealth Coffee Chat on a Tuesday the 4th of May. Well, while everything's warming up, didn't jump on yesterday up here in Queensland, gang. It was a public holiday, wherever you are. Hopefully you had a good day, whether you're working, whether you're on holiday. Hopefully everything went well for you. While everyone's warming up, while the old Facebook Live is doing its thing, I'll do the quick intros. Give us a shout out in the chat if you're there. There's Alison. Hey, good morning, Alison. Good to see you. There's Rodney. There's Alison. Great to see you guys. Hey, welcome back. Those who are coming back as regulars, welcome back. Great to see you. Those who are joining for the first time, Jason Witten's my name. Morning, Glenn. And been property investing 20 odd years. Coaching property investors over 18, and each morning get together with our crew, just have a bit of a chat, bit of a talk, bit of a yarn, bit of a pontification about property investing, about going the distance in this thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And we just chat for about maybe, 5, 10, 15 minutes each morning, just on what's going on in general, out and about in the property investing world, over a bit of a coffee, getting the day started. So welcome along. Hey, morning, Brooke. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. So today, I thought I would have a bit of a chat to you guys. But a question I got asked the other day. Let me just quickly check if I remember who asked the question. It was, let me see here. Trying to have a quick look. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Julie. Good to see you guys. This one was by Kath Spiteri. Kath, this is for you. Hopefully you're listening in this morning. But Kath asked the other day, hey, listen, is it okay to sell if you are building something to sell, like as in being a developer? That's your gig, that's your thing. And the answer is yeah, absolutely. Kath, I have, as you guys probably well know, I have a bit of a buy well, never sell attitude. But today I thought we would talk through the idea of when it works, when you sell, and if that is part of your plan. So maybe we'll stick around and we'll have a little yarn about that. So good morning, Julie. Good to see you, Jeff. Good morning, as always. Good to see you back. And good morning, my love indeed. Love of my life. There you go. All right, gang. Well, listen, let's jump into this and let's have a bit of a look at what it might take. Because, let's say, and I'm going to go to the overhead cam today. So let's say, we are, traveling along in our portfolio or building our portfolio over a period of time. Let's say, this might be, you're going to build 20 years, a 20-year property portfolio. Along the way, some people might like the idea. I do have a number of investors that I've coached over the years, including myself, who like to create and add value to their properties as they go along. Now, adding value to a property, if you check out the 6 ways of adding value in our YouTube channel, okay, 6 ways to add value in our YouTube channel. There's a video about it, probably 15 or 20 minutes long. But there's the major ways of creating equity, instant value, instant money, whatever you want to call it, comes in 6 major ways. Get a discount on a property, buy it for less than it's worth. That's a really good way. Do a renovation, strata title, subdivide, develop the property yourself, or do a land and build. That is sort of 6 major ways in residential real estate that you can add some value to your real estate. And today, I want to talk about the idea that we are buying investment properties, as well as add value properties, and how to combine the two. Hopefully you guys, does that work? Is that not too blurry? Let me know if you guys can see that okay, as we're rolling along. So, how do we add value to a piece of real estate and maybe combine the conversation, combine the thing with what we're looking to do. So, is it okay to sell? When's it okay to sell? So what I always say to people is this, all right? When they talk about the idea of building an investment property portfolio at the same time as an add value property portfolio. All right, thanks. Hey, morning, Ben. Good to see you. Thank you. Thanks, Pritesh. Let me know. Fine so far. That's good. So you need to think of the process of add value as another strategy. I always say to property investors, if you are going to have a strategy, the first strategy, your investment strategy, I'm going to buy and own. This is the buy and hold, never sell, buy well, never sell strategy, property strategy for my portfolio. And what I need is 5, 7, 10 properties in my property portfolio. So let's say I want 7 investment properties that I'm happy to hold for 20 years. Okay, that's part of our strategy. Now, for many of you guys, it might be 5, it might be 10. For some, it might be 15, depending on the number of properties you need to hit your passive income goal. And, we talked about the other day the difference or creating the gap between your expenses and your rents, by the idea of getting your rents up and your debts down over time, right? So, yeah. Children using my iPad make it a bit grotty and dirty. But so, gang, what we do in a strategy where we might have the idea we're going to add value and at some point we might sell a property, it needs to be part of our strategy. But my shout out to you guys is it should not be the only strategy that you're deploying. It should be a secondary strategy. I think it's a secondary strategy for property investors when they have enough equity or wealth or value that they can sustain doing small developments themselves, okay? So imagine the portfolio over 20 odd years. You might get into the acquisition phase. We've chatted about this before. You might get, a number of properties in. That's the acquisition phase. Now you've created enough equity to do some small development, okay? Now, hey, James, good morning. Now, for me, and I think I've said this once or twice before, how much do you need in money, equity, or accessible cash to do a small development? And let's talk about a good quality duplex. Now, a duplex, gang, is a property that has 2 titles, not 4, 2, 2 titles. You could sell one and keep one, okay? For most small developers starting out, this is a fantastic starting opportunity for you to sharpen your teeth and get a bit of experience on adding value if you wanted to do something like that. Taking one title and turning it into 2 and selling one and keeping one, okay? But you're going to need a minimum of $300,000 to do an $800 to $1 million duplex, okay? So that's kind of the sweet spot, gang. That's the sweet spot where you make enough margin and money. You want to make at least $100,000 or $150,000 in equity / profit if you're going to do a deal. Anything more, anything less than that, what can happen very easily in these small development deals is, something can go wrong. It can be 6 months longer. You can sell them for 20, 30 grand less than you were hoping. And, all of a sudden with the taxes and the expenses and the blowout, instead of making $100,000, you make $20,000. And that wasn't worth 2 years of your life. Okay. So with all the risk and stress and challenge, you could have bought a simple deal and made more money. Now, so along the way, these are the things that we've learned helping property investors, around Australia and New Zealand understand what it takes to do these sorts of deals. Now, this is perfectly fine. Add value deals in this kind of what I call consolidation stage, okay? Usually it's in the consolidation stage. Usually what I would suggest to most people is you've ticked these off. You've got 4 to 5 investment properties in your portfolio before you go on to buy and sell trade deals, okay? Add value deals. Now, we talked about the other day, equity arbitrage. This would be a version, I would call this equity arbitrage, okay? This would be something that you could do if you're more an active investor. You could buy properties to add the value, develop, and then sell later on into the future. Now, there's another way. You can do subdivisions, which I quite like. I like subdivisions. You could do duplexes, or you could do little blocks of apartments and townhouses. But again, you know, you would need much more money. You'd need probably $500 to $1 million to do something, you know, a bit more significant when it came to a block of units or a block of townhouses. And highly likely, it'd be very difficult for you to get the borrowing if you don't have enough wealth in your foundation or your portfolio. So add value deals, maybe 1 to 2 deals per year in the consolidation section. And that could accelerate if you got into the lifestyle phase. Now, you know, if your gap, we talked about this the other day, the gap between your rents and your equity, okay, your rents and your equity is pretty significant, and your costs are quite low. The difference in here, if that is $5, $6, $7 million, then again, that would be quite an appropriate strategy to deploy if you wanted to do some add value when it came to using the equity, using the money that you've got and putting it to work, okay? We talk about this all the time, gang. Make sure your money is working hard so you don't have to. Absolutely. When is it okay to sell? It's okay to sell if it's part of your plan, okay? That selling might be helping you reduce your costs quicker. You know, those profits might smash debts quicker, okay, as we go. But like I said, there's some rules. There's some things I reckon you need. Number 1, let's talk about this. 5 or more investment properties, IPs, before you start small developing. That's one of the things that I think you should keep yourself held accountable to. 5 or more investment properties. You need $300,000. Oh, I keep getting excited by this thing. $300K. There we go. $300K in accessible equity to do deals like this, okay? Because sometimes they do absorb a fair bit of cash and capital as we're going along, okay? We're aiming for a minimum of $100K profit or more, okay? Now, $100K or more profit. You need to have 5 or more investment properties in your portfolio, $300K of accessible equity without any problems or challenges when it comes to financing and accessing that money, and you want to be aiming for $100K or more in profit as we're going along. Hopefully that makes sense, gang. Oh, here we go. Hey, Kevin. Thanks for dialing in from Florida. Great to see you, mate. Thanks for popping by. Happy days. And there's James. I think I said hello to James before. Hey, James. So hopefully that makes sense. Buy well, never sell. If we're creating and building wealth, then we need to make sure that we get that part right in our portfolio, okay? And make sure we do it, all right? If we're going to do some sort of buying to develop and sell for profit, then sure, if it's part of your plan and you're an active, interested investor, it can absolutely work, but make sure you understand a couple of the rules around getting it right so you can make sure you go the distance. Yeah, Ellison, It's a bit of a thing for me and my screens. People touch my screens on my laptop, on my iPad, and the kids. It drives me insane too. Absolutely. All right, gang. Well, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that made sense. And hopefully that answered, Kath, hopefully that answered your question. When's it okay to sell? Well, if it's part of your plan and that's what you have in your strategy, then happy days. All right. My preference is a little less active and a bit more passive, but that depends on every single one of you. And if you don't have a strategy, or you're thinking, oh, listen, I wonder if, small developments or a subdivision or a duplex would work for me. And you're sitting there going, well, maybe that sounds great. Maybe 100 grand of extra cash flow a year out of my small development work would be great. I'd love to do something like that. Then give us a shout out if you think you might need some coaching or some help with that sort of stuff, because that's what we do. Like I said at the start of this, gang, we've been coaching property investors over 18 odd years across Australia and New Zealand, and many of them deploy this strategy as part of their acquisition and debt reduction plans as you go forward. So, all right, gang, hopefully that lands for you. Great to have a coffee chat. Give us a shout out in the chat. Give us a shout out in the comments. If you want to connect with me or one of the other coaches, always can hook you up and make sure you get to chat with someone if you need someone to bounce some ideas off. That's it. I'm done. Done and dusted. Wealth Coffee Chat, done. Join me tomorrow for another Wealth Coffee Chat. We will be around about the same time, around about 8 a.m. And we'll discuss some more things. If there's something that you want me to talk about, chuck it in the chat. I will check the comments as we go forward and see if I can put something together for all of us to learn and share and have a think about. All right, gang. Well, that's it. Tuesday, the 4th of May, over and out. Wealth Coffee Chat done. Have an awesome, wonderful day. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow around about the same time. Adios, gang. Bye-bye.